Hello Annyeong Yorobun, this is Deepika and I welcome you all in the series called Dialogues with Deepika, where I invite armed people to have not so armed conversation. Well, this series primarily focuses on the youth who are still navigating their life, making different career choices, making mistakes, but still rising it up. The man who is joining us has a masterclass degree when it comes to courage and resilience and obviously transformation. So here joining us, Lieutenant Colonel Dr. D.D.Goel, who is Indian Army War Wounded Veteran, TEDx speaker, motivational speaker, a psychologist, and the man many know as the Blade Runner. After losing his leg during an operation near the line of control, he refused to let tragedy define him. Instead, he chose to redefine the human limitations. He chose to run the half marathons and paragliding on an artificial limb to inspire thousands of defense aspirants and young Indians. His journey is a living example of mental strength and purpose-driven life. He is also the author of the inspiring autobiographical book When People Doubted My Ability to Walk, I Decided to Fly, and the mindset-driven book The Magic of So What, both centered around resilience, perspective, emotional strength and overcoming adversity. In this conversation, we will go beyond the medals, uniform and achievements, and we will try to take a sneak peek look in around the courage, resilience and the psychology behind the courage, what goes in one's head, and how someone who has gone through this much of pain and struggles has risen up all again. And I hope this conversation will lead to somewhere better and you will definitely learn a lot, especially the youth watching us. So here, sir, welcome you. Let's start from the very beginning. How was the young D.D.Goel and how has been your life since childhood?
So yes, as you have mentioned about the young D.D.Goel. So young D.D.Goel was totally lost, totally unaware about life. Young D.D.Goel was clueless what is happening around him, and young D.D.Goel was born and brought up in a place where daily life challenges were more than one can imagine. Be it the antisocial part happening around, be it less guidance part happening around. So that was easy for me as a young D.D.Goel to get misguided. But fortunately, my parents took a wise decision. They sent me to a boarding school where I was there for good about 6-7 years and learned more about life, learned more clarity about my future, and a changeover of almost 180 degree. So that is what my young age was all about.
Okay, sir. So you have mentioned that in your young age, you were sort of on the trajectory where you could have been misguided over time. But since your parents were smart enough to send you at boarding school, and I would like you to shed light in the same regard, like how good of the boarding school was and how that shaped you to go towards army life, and how army life chose you or you chose army life.
Well, regarding boarding life, I tell you, you are totally on your own. You fend for yourself. You guard your own self, your own personality, your own challenges. So that made us very bold in life. So it was like even if small things at the last minute. For example, you are about to go to the classroom. You are checked from toe to your head, and suddenly your shoes vanished. How do you handle that? So from those things to your parents have got you eatables which would last for good about a month, and next day the entire trunk is gone. How would you manage that? So I mean, these are small things, but yes, we learn to become strong. We learn to become strong in emotions, and yes, we learn to make friends for life. Today, all my friends, when we were very young, I would say maybe not more than 13-12 years or maybe 11 years. Yes, I to be very specific, 11 years, and now we are almost friends for good about 37 years. So now you can imagine the bondings what we have created in boarding school for life. And other than that, yes, about the army life, The base to join the army was already founded in the boarding school, where weathering against all conditions, against all situations, standing strong against all situations, and yes, to hold your friends and buddies' hand till the last moment. If somebody who has been caught doing some, mischief or mischievous act, and you were party to it, if you reveal their names, you will be let go. But if you don't, you bear the same punishment. So what we learned the other way, not to reveal the names of the friend and take the punishment by the stride in the boarding school. So all those things, standing with your men, standing with my friends or with your friends, in the army standing with your men. So a lot of matching and a lot of similarities and commonness was there. So when I faced the interview for the Indian Army in the SSB, I was very relaxed. I wasn't prepared at all. But yes, whatever I spoke was with conviction. I had the courage of conviction, in a way that army was not in my charter of plans, but army came as a destiny, and I really strongly believe that I was meant for this, and it was the army life which found me. I was not even near to in my mind that I would be choosing this as a career. But when I went there, I was so casual in my interview. I was so, I would say, not so prepared, and yet I was the only candidate from that SSB selected to join the academy, and that is my journey about before I got commissioned.
As you mentioned that it was not in your charts, you were not planning to join army, and even in your SSB, as you mentioned that you were pretty casual, you just went there and you got in. So I've heard this similar story from a lot of people who got recommended. So what does SSB look for? Because there are people who prepare anything, and then they are disheartened. They give their almost prime time of their youth to preparation and everything. So what is that one factor they are missing? Either they are too stressed about it, or either they need to be little chill. So what's your approach has been, and what you'll say regarding the same? Because the youth watching this podcast, they are hoping you'll shed some light in that aspect, because whenever I talk to someone, they say the same thing. I just went there, we got in, but there must be some practice behind that. So I would like you to go and open the curtains, which you are mentioning.
Good question. And yes, I stand with the same line. I was very casual, but I had something which was courage of conviction. That is one. What SSB looks for or looks forward to is be true to yourself, be truthful, don't manipulate in your mind, don't overthink, don't think that I'll not tell this and I will tell that will be impressive. Let me tell you, the assessors in SSB, they have seen the world, they have commanded 3 times, 4 times, they have seen troops from the last weakest link, that is a recruit to a sepoy to a subedar major. So everybody, they have seen how they live, how they make excuses, or if they not make excuses, what are the problems they go through and how they try to resolve all these things. So they have seen life enough. But the moment some candidate tries to be extra smart, then his chances of not getting selected are much higher. Now, be truthful to yourself means, I would not say that, yes, be diligent, but you need not open everything in detail which is not required. But what they want to hear is all about the 15 officer like qualities. I am sure it is available on the internet. What are the 15 OLQs?
I'll mention that.
Yes, you restrict your all qualities to that. You don't need to open your Pandora box from day one you are born to the last, to the present day. So that is not required. That is one. Now about me, why I said casual, let me tell you. When I went for the SSB, by the time the form was filled, it was my colleague, Mr. Sachin Vaidya. He was a reader in the library, and of course he was very fond of newspaper, and he read somewhere that there is a vacancy for Indian Armed Forces, Indian Army, and he told me that, sir, why don't you fill the form? I said, sir, I'm happy. That time I was a lecturer. I was the youngest lecturer in the college, and I said, sir, I'm happy teaching psychology to the students. uh, there are so many unemployed youth in our country, let them apply, the eligible candidate will get through. But he still said that, nahi, nahi, sir, you fill the form. I signed it, the form was filled and it was posted, and I forgot about it. After few months, when I decided to resign this job because of local administrative problems, I suddenly get this call letter where I have to appear before the SSB. I wasn't prepared because I was in my own struggle, searching for a job. I appeared for 110 interviews in 30 days, and I am happy that I did not clear any one of the interview in the corporates. I am really happy and fortunate. That is the reason why I said army was destined to come to my life, not me. And then I happened to get a call that your call letter is here, and I was still not making up my mind. So my colleague said that, you know, you will get to see the army cantonment, you will get to see the army life, the army mess, and your conveyance also will be taken care of. So that was something I said, okay, let me go and try. So when I went there, of course, psychological test, stage 1, and GTO, and everything was okay. In the interview, I was asked that, why didn't you apply through NDA? I said, sir, I had no guidance, because in the boarding school, it was, you know, like daily challenges were different. So, and plus there was no awareness. So then he asked me, why didn't you come through NCC? And that was not to be told. It was not even to be thoughtful of, to think like that. I told, sir, they run with the rifles in the scorching heat. They look like it is better they should come and sit, have coffee in the canteen, college canteen. He started laughing his heart out. Then he asked me, why didn't you come after your graduation? I said, sir, I was preparing. I was very casual. I said, sir, I was preparing for UPSC. So did you prepare? I said, no, sir. Then he said, then why didn't you come here after post graduation? I said, I had no idea. Then he said, then why are you here now? Then I said, ki, sir, my colleague filled the form, so I am here. So he straightway came to Hindi. He said, कुछ तो सोचा होगा. मैं बोला, हाँ सर, हमारे बॉम्बे में एक पैराग्लाइडिंग स्कूल खुला है, बहुत महंगा है, इंडियन आर्मी में आप लोग फ्री में करवाओगे. So he started laughing, and it was easy for him to throw me out. But then that is what I was mentioning. They have seen the world, and that is the reason they sit over there. Then he started grilling me like a proper interviewing officer would. So he asked me that in your PIQ form you have mentioned that you have run a dhaba. I was running a dhaba before. I had dropped my college for 1 year plus. So those days my mother also refused to give me money. So I decided to open my own dhaba in a highway, on the highway side in Gujarat, Bilad Vapi Road. So I was the cashier, I was the cook, I was the dishwasher, I was the waiter. I was everything. I had collected 4 or 5 boys of my age, and I was very young, maybe 18, 19, something like that. So we earned a good money, but that was not my call, nor it was coming from the heart. So again I had joined back my studies. So he asked me that, okay, tell me तंदूरी रोटी कैसे लगाते हैं. It was easy for me because I used to cook. So I told, sir, ऐसे होता है प्रोसेस, ऐसे होता है, रोटी को सफ़ेद करनी है तो नमक का पानी हम छिड़कते हैं तंदूरी रोटी में. एंड आई गेव सम डिटेल्स, एंड देन ही आस्क्ड मी, ओके, ही वाज कन्विंस्ड विद द लाइफ एक्सपीरियंसेस कि यस, ही हैज स्ट्रगल्ड फॉर सम टाइम. देन ही आस्क्ड मी अबाउट द माय सब्जेक्ट नॉलेज, द साइकोलॉजी, and it was easy for me because when you're teaching your students you have to prepare. So he asked me few theories, and I not only told the theories, I also told the practical implications of those theories, that how it is applicable in a day-to-day life. He was quite impressed. He said, oh wow, I had read about theory but I wasn't aware about the practical part. And the third thing, he asked me about the current affairs. Now traveling, you must Google it, traveling from in a Virar, Mumbai Virar Churchgate fast local, it is a struggle. There is no place even to keep your feet in the compartment. So I used to read my newspaper with all the folds, first fold, second fold, third fold, fifth, eighth fold. So when I used to make all the folds, so the last article also was not even missed by me. So my current affair was very good, and then he gave me various situations which was more practical in nature, and I answered everything very comfortably, thinking very naturally. So what you were asking, that what exactly they want, and to my surprise, I was the only candidate selected from that SSB. And those days, Bangalore SSB was called as rejection center, not as a selection center. Those days. So what now they exactly want? Even if you practice 1,000 stories, but if you don't have from within, you will not be able to clear. By bringing some people, and I have met so many candidates. They say nobody checks, you just write whatever. No way. They even match your stories with your PIQ form. They may not be aware. The candidates may not be aware. So for that, you really need to work on your personality. You need to be a person who doesn't judge others. You need to be a person who is a team man. You need to be a person who is a group person, who has got social adaptability, who would be very comfortable with the troops, who is, I would not say a go-getter, but a good from his heart, who is ready to stand for his buddies, for his men any time of the day. That is what is required. No manipulation. Even if you have gone through ups and downs, remember that if you're still sitting till that day, you're sitting in front of the interviewing officer, that means you have covered your journey very successfully. So don't hide things, be very truthful. Yes, how you overcome that challenges, you must complete that also. Don't even complete it half cooked or half cocked. Complete it full, and then the interviewing officer realizes this, your journey was not so simple. Any candidate. So this is what all SSB is about.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And you have definitely provided a deep insight in this. And as you mentioned that you went there casually, but your life was not so casual. I would rather say that, because he's been literally preparing since the moment he opened his dhaba. He was preparing for psychology lectures. Everything was going like behind the curtains, but it was there.
That was the recipe being cooked for a better dish.
Yes, sir, definitely it was. So, I would rather say, like as sir has mentioned, that instead of being a parrot, you should just go and explore yourself first, and then look around and be active. Do not try to manipulate anyone or yourself, not the other person nor yourself. So just be yourself. If I would have to sum it up, isn't it right, sir?
Very, very much right. And don't manipulate yourself, don't manipulate others also. Be very truthful to yourself. And if at all you want to practice about the speed. Practice about writing 12 stories in 54 minutes, practicing about 60 WAT in 15 minutes, practice about 60 SRT in 15 minutes. The timing, not the concept. Concept has to come naturally. That what your mind is all about, that particular situation or word or that picture. So that has to be natural. And if you have really worked hard, and one more thing, if at all you want to prepare extra, meet lot of people. Go to orphanages, go to widow home, go to physically challenged home, meet people in the general ward, those who have nobody coming and meeting them. You will learn all about compassion. You will be bold enough to approach people who need help, and that is what SSB looks forward to.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We have talked about SSB now. Now we'll be focusing on your army life. Okay, you have cleared the SSB and now you're entering the premises. So, initial training of your army, and then how you proceeded with it, what sort of achievements you've got there, and how your promotion journey has been like. So, I want you to shed light in
Well,
that regard.
About the training days, yes, I made friends for life. I made such friends who would die for me, and I would do the same for them. And not only one, all my course mates. So, having covered those training days, which was not easy. Yes, after becoming an officer, we find it like a cakewalk. But you can ask those cadets at NDA, those cadets at IMA. For them, they mark the walls, days left to go home. DLTGH. So it is like every hour is like 100 years. So after having covered those training days, got commissioned, gone with 10 Sikh. That is one of the bravest regiment in the Indian Army, bravest unit in the Indian Army. And yes, we did a few actions. where our battalion had captured a Pakistani post, and not here. It was 5 kilometer that side of the line of control. And having said that, overcoming all those, sustaining all those crossfires, artillery shellings, seeing all those shell blasting in front of your eyes, and you are by close shave, just a close shave, you saved yourself or you saved your men. Having seen all those things, and then in my next venture, that is after a few days after completing my leave, coming to a new location, there I get a task to check infiltration. And the second task was area domination patrol. The third task was to make a military post wherever I find suitable, or where I find it is deemed suitable to make a post, so that infiltration does not take place. So having marching at around 4 o'clock in the morning, traveling for good about 11 kilometers, reaching at the height of around 13,500 feet, and there I found the traces, where I found a toffee wrapper, where I could make out that the terrorist might have infiltrated from this particular route. So deciding to make a post there. Now I'm not getting a proper reading in my compass, or a bearing in my magnetic compass. So I decided to cross the line of control. That was very much part of the task, where if I have to build a post, I need a perfect reading, so that the engineer team comes and they are able to make it. So when I was taking the reading, I was not getting that proper reading, so I decided to cross the line of control. It was part of the mission. So when I crossed the line of control, before crossing, I told my men not to come follow me, not to come behind me, because I knew what the risk was. So I moved ahead, and I happened to see a small pit where I saw the ashes, and it was very obvious that somebody might have spent the night over here. And after inspecting that pit, I came out and I heard a huge blast. When I heard the huge blast, the first reaction came from my mouth was, "Aad pakdo, fire aaya, take cover, we are under fire." So my men were looking aghast at me. They were not reacting, and I was wondering, why are they not reacting? I am shouting, I am yelling, and that yelling was also more of a physical reaction, because it was coming naturally from my mouth, and I was not realizing that why am I shouting. But then I realized that I fell down. When I fell down, then I saw that a stone flew in front of my eyes, and next moment I realized it was not stone, it was my own leg which got blown off in front of my own eyes, and it went off. And then I could see my only bones. I could see flesh pieces all over my uniform. I could see my nerves dangling down, and my part of the leg was gone. So that is the reason why I was yelling in pain. I did not realize even till that moment that it was pain that was making me shout, that take cover, we are under fire, and I was shouting. And then I realized when I fell down that my leg is gone, and then realized this is no time for self-pity. This is no time to even cry, because I have my men with me. I don't even had that thing that why me, oh God, why me. Yes, that thing was coming in my mind, but I was not able to take it ahead because I had the responsibility. So immediately after gathering that strength and courage, I told my guys not to come this side. We are infested with mines. Now that is what in the army we are taught, not to leave your last man behind. Now hearing this, not to come this side, my Khalsa comes running to me, and without bothering about his safety, disregarding his personal safety, and I shout at him that I will make sure that you are court-martialed for the disobedience of orders. And he comes to me and he stands very firmly and he says, "Sir, I am ready to go home, but I will not leave you here at this place." He carries me on his shoulder, and he sees one leg gone. One leg is still there, just next to his right head, and here my head is there. He removes his pagdi. Pagdi is the most honorable thing a Khalsa puts on his head, very sacred to them. But he removed it without even thinking, giving a second thought. He tied it to my leg, and then he started rushing back, because we were in the enemy side. Anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. They could have fired at us. Many more things. He could also have had stepped on a mine and blown off his leg. Anything. But then he came back to his side, and then he started rushing from the same track. I said, "Where are you going?" Then he realized that, "Sir, what?" I said, "Where are you going?" So what I wanted to tell him, that the route which we had taken was so risky that whatever has happened to me has happened, but if one of you slips down, it will be difficult to retrieve them back. So he said, sir, then what to do? I said, there is a route ahead. I know, let's go ahead. Ahead means behind the mountain, but little ahead. So he walked for good about 2 hours. I was on his shoulder. And for about 2 hours, we came to a place where we sent a message on the radio set for the helicopter. The helicopter came. I was about to be tied up and taken, but it started snowing very heavily. And the helicopter was wobbling. It went back in front of my eyes. And my pain aggravated that, yes, I could have been in the base hospital in half an hour. Now I don't know how much time. So my injury happened at 1:30, and the helicopter came at around 4:35. It went back by 5:30. By 6 o'clock, I got the message on the radio set that wait for the weather to clear and we will come back. But having stayed there, I knew that the weather is not going to clear, at least for the night. So I took a call. I told my guys that let's walk from here. If one coordinated enemy fire comes, you all will be wiped out. So we started walking. I mean, I was on their shoulder. They started walking. They kept on slipping on the fresh snow. And because when the helicopter went back, the reason was it started snowing very heavily. So the fresh snow was there. So they were slipping. I was falling on the same injury. And at night, 12 o'clock, we reached the nearest roadhead. From there, the ambulance was waiting. We went to the base, advanced dressing station. From there, in the morning at around 9 o'clock, the weather cleared. By the time the helicopter was heated up, it was ready to take off. It was 11. Till then, I had no painkillers. And I was only on IV drips. I was put in the helicopter. I was taken to the 92 base hospital. And the surgeon was waiting there. And the moment he saw me, and I got some strength. Till then, I did not sleep for 23 hours. So I told him, sir, don't ampute much. I want to play basketball with my son. I had no idea about my son. वो तो उस टाइम पे कुछ अता पता नहीं था, but क्यों वो hope, ray of hope निकला. Why that hope of success was there in my mind, that I'll be successful in my challenges. I don't know how, but it just came out. And after that, I conked off. The surgery went for good about 11 hours with the anesthesia effect, everything. So when I gained strength, when I saw after 11 hours, the surgeon was standing there. So I told him, he told me rather, son, I could not do much, but I hope I could compensate. So I promised him, I said, sir, hereafter I'll not look back in my life. So that was my journey in J&K. And after that, I was shifted to Command Hospital, Pune. And from there, my second journey of my life started.
Sir, I'm in literal awe. The way things has proceeded in your life and the way you have handled that must have been actually painful at that moment, but still there was in your head that you have to be strong for your men, for your boys there, so that you can drive the whole platoon with an example. So that's really remarkable. And when you were battling through all this, I would rather ask this question that was that pain more mental or physical, and how you have dealt with it? Because I would like you to make a comparison between physical pain and mental pain.
Physical pain was unbearable. It could have taken my life. It could have, for me, or rather for anybody, death seems more easy. And the pain was such that, had it been one more IED blast, it would have been easier that, I am relieved of my pain. That was the level where you are yelling, you are seeing your bones, and you cannot imagine that your leg is totally gone, and you are in the battle zone. You are on the enemy side. Not only that, you have other responsibilities with you. So the physical pain was covering all those clear thought process, your decision making process. But what takes over the edge is always mind. Of course, these are psychological things. It will not come to your mind suddenly over there. You really need to keep your mind under control from day one. You have started learning about that there is something called as mental strength. So we learned in the academies. I learned in my situations what life gave me when I was running a dhaba to all those challenges. So that almost became a homework. So now the situation over there was I converted into just one line: I am going to live. Whatever my pain is, yes, if I die, ठीक है, मालूम ही नहीं पड़ेगा, I am gone. But I am going to live. I was continuously chanting as we do Om Namah Shivaya. I am going to live. 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 I did not even think of how much will my leg be amputated, whether be alive or whether I'll not be alive because of the infection, gangrene, loss of blood, whatever is happening. I did not even think that whether I'll be wheelchair bound, whether I'll be crutches bound, whether I'll be in service or out of service. Nothing, because your mind is a blindfolded driver. It loves to manipulate you. You means your positive thought. So I did not give even 1% iota of my negative thought to take over. So I kept on telling, I am going to live. No grammar, no full stop, no English, no comma. By the time I met the doctor, only one thing: I am going to live. Now that I am going to live helped me to survive, because when I was giving the message to the brain, my pain used to subside and it used to get diverted. That yes, you have to live, bear it, you have to live, bear it. That was the answer coming from the other mind. And that is how I spent 23 hours without painkiller. And uske baad then mind surprises you if you really learn to control your own mind.
When you were actually telling all of that part, we were visually imagining that, and I can imagine how hard it must be, mentally and physically excruciating pain must be there. I would like you to mention about the terrain, about the whole climate, about the weather, whatever was going on, and also how, like, what was the emotional support system has been like, and how army has helped you to recover faster or to be on your leg again.
Very interesting question. Because of the terrain, since you mentioned this, so weather is the biggest enemy, and after that comes Pakistan. Your survival is survival of the fittest over there. Whatever diet, whatever best of the best equipment, whatever you do, we cannot overpower, or we cannot go stronger than the nature. So there where I was located, it was at the height of 13,000. We were based at 9,000, but where this happened, it was at 13,000. And the weather, suddenly you will see snow, suddenly you will see chilled winds, and suddenly you will see the days are sunny. But they all are in extremes, and the terrain is thankless. If you happen to have the high altitude sickness, only God can be your savior. Even if we have helicopters, best of the best helicopters, at times, there is no visibility. At times, there are tracks which are closed for days together. Those who want to go on leave, they walk by foot for 3 days to reach to the nearest road. That is the terrain all about. Where this happened, it was 13,500 feet. Coming back from there was highly impossible. And why I relate this, why I tell you, after I lost my leg, and after 20 years of losing a leg, I happened to, and it was destined, I happened to go back to the same location. I chose to. I spoke to one of the brigadiers, and I requested him, sir, I want to go over there. He allowed me. He was magnanimous to allow me. And when I went over there, it was nostalgic. It was a flashback of my memory, that this is the place where I lost my leg. Of course, that time I did not cross the line of control, and to be very specific, the date was 5th October 2022. It was Dashera that time. It was the festive day, and I was at the top. I was in my memories 20 years back. And when I came down at the location in between where the helicopter was to come and pick me up, today there is a huge body of troops over there. Because of my casualty, they have realized that this can be a tactical location. So that has been in use now. There I happened to meet a Kashmiri person. He was insisting that I saw somebody went up, I want to meet. He was a local villager. And when I went down after seeing those things on 5th October 2022, this gentleman, he tells the BSF inspector, and BSF inspector tells me that, sir, he wants to meet you. I said, yes, beta, what is your name? He says, sir, my name is so and so. and I was asking him who is the person gone, and he told about you, sir. सर 20 साल पहले जो आप लोग को जो ला रहे थे ऊपर से उठा के, उनमें से एक मैं भी था. एंड आई हैड गूज बम्स. आई कुड नॉट रिएक्ट कि मैं इसको क्या बोलूँ. माई आईज वर ऑलमोस्ट वेट, इमोशनल. आई हग्ड हिम, and when I hugged him after a couple of minutes, and then I patted on his back, and I said, Muzammil, tell me something more. Then he told me that one army captain doctor came to save you, but he suddenly suffered the high altitude sickness, and we started saving his life. We forgot about you for that moment. So I told, you still remember the name, because sir is serving, about to become a brigadier. So he said, हाँ साहब. Then you imagine कि वहाँ पे challenges क्या हो सकते हैं कि मेरे को बचाने वाला भी खुद मौत के मुंह में चला गया, जा रहा है. So I asked him that what are the challenges over here. I asked Muzammil, and he said कि साहब my village is down there. He showed me the village, and that village was at 9,000 feet. We are at somewhere 11,000, and the top where I was there at 13,000. So I was in the middle. We had already come back because that day it was a celebration time. So I was told that you come back early, then we will have lunch together. And it was more like a favor on me that sir had allowed me to go till that location. I was also serving, but nobody would take a risk that if something happens to me again, I might fall sick because of high altitude sickness. But army is, I tell you, you show interest moving one step, they will walk 10 steps to pull you up. That is the beauty of the organization. So Muzammil said that, Saab, my village is down there. I see this stop every day. And आज हमारे पास एडवांस हेलीकॉप्टर्स है, सब कुछ है, बट आज भी इधर किसी का आपकी तरह कैजुअलिटी हो जाए साहब, कोई नहीं ला सकता नीचे. आप कैसे आ गए मुझे खुद नहीं पता. If you really ask me the reason, I had a very practical reason. If you really ask me. If you ask me the emotional reason, I have no reason that how I have come. But practical reason, it was my men who got me here. In the army, they say not to leave the last man behind, whether he's dead, injured, disabled, or mutilated. Collect him, bring him back. That is what we live for. This does not come in a single moment. When you were asking about the SSB, now I'll connect these two things. This does not happen in a single moment. In the bunker, we all men sleep together. Their legs on my chest, my legs on their heads, my hands on their stomach. Whatever it is, you don't hesitate that he's a jawan, he's a soldier, I'm an officer. No way. The moment you start thinking that, then you're in the wrong profession. You should have been in some other profession. Playing shoulder to shoulder basketball with your men, having lunch together with your men, asking about their family, their well-being. Those things were developing. As you mentioned earlier also, that the recipe was building up. These things were also building up, that they are now ready to die for me. So that is how your man is ready to die. So in the SSB, they see how comfortable you will be. And there, when this happened, of course, they were not ready to leave me back. They were not ready to technically wait for the helicopter and कि आएगा साहब को ले जाएंगे. No, he immediately lifted at the cost, at the risk of his own job. अगर मैं अड़ जाता कि नहीं मेरे को कोर्ट मार्शल करना है, technically yes, but I would never even think in my dreams of dreams, because he stood by me. So that is how army teaches us all about the bonding, the camaraderie, the esprit de corps, not leaving the last man behind. ये सारी चीज़ें यहाँ से बिल्डअप होती है.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those intricate details with us. And literally, when I was listening to you, I got goosebumps multiple times in this conversation. And since you have mentioned about your life, you must have mentioned all that part in your autobiographical book, which is a great book when it comes to someone who want to build themselves in a courageous way, or if they have to build their resilience, they should definitely read that. And you have already mentioned about your life in such an interesting manner that I'm literally getting the goosebumps, and the people who must be watching, they, like, after listening all that part, they must be imagining and also getting goosebumps, isn't it? You guys must be. If you're not, then you're lying. So sir, I would like you to shift that focus that your book, which title as when people doubted your ability to walk, you decided to fly. And how come that title comes up, and what you have mentioned which is not mentioned in this conversation, whatever we have talked as of now. So yes sir, all up to you, whatever you have to mention.
This title was very interesting. This comes from one gentleman called as Mr. Gurpreet Dindsa. First, he taught me to paraglide when I had no legs. There was the prosthetics was not so advanced, and that was the time he took the challenge. And this line comes from him, that when people doubted my ability to walk, and it is not that it comes from him. The I would say the initial spark, not the positive one, the initial जिसको बोलते हैं चिंगारी, it came from somewhere else. There was an officer, what his thought process may be, but I am thankful that he literally pointed on me when I requested the army headquarters from the hospital to post me back to my battalion. And they were saying that, don't you like your family, don't you love your family? And I said, my family is my troops, I want to be with them. And they agreed. So I thought I'll get a grand welcome, that he has come after battling his life and all those things. But then when I came, the first reaction was, why are you here? You'll be a liability on us. And it was beyond my imagination that if somebody can even utter such words. But then I paused, I gave a smile, and when I came back to my room, and I thought that maybe I start thinking the same for myself. Let me do, of course I wanted to do something, but let me now do deliberately that what is that something. Then I started searching for paragliding, some activity which is adventurous, which really needs your resilience, which needs your strength, which needs your mental capacity. So I thought those days paragliding, nothing better than paragliding. And I started looking for people. I happened to get in touch with Gurpreet Dindsa, who stays in Bir Biling, Himachal Pradesh. He told me, come over. He saw my condition. He was little hesitant about it, but then he took the challenge. I got injured couple of times, but then he still continued with me. So this line, when people doubted my ability to walk, I decided to fly. The first day when I flied, I was emotional that I'm able to fly, I'm able to see those small fields, the streams, the clouds, the birds. So when this concept of writing came, I was mentioning to one of my friend, the publisher, Mr. Rajan Arya, had come to my office, and how he motivated me to write the book. And after he convinced me, then I told that this will be the title. Now coming to your point, he told me, साहब 25 साल के मेरे करियर में मैंने इतना बड़ा टाइटल नहीं देखा. ऐसा कोई टाइटल होता है क्या? You change your title. I said no sir, title यही रहेगा, because it is not a title, it is emotions, and it is a fact, and it has come from ground. He said, okay, it is your wish, your book, I will not force you. And I'm thankful to him. This book has made history, crossed more than 25,000 copies, and yes, the title is become unique. When people doubted my ability to walk, I decided to fly. It teaches everything about life. There are a lot of my favorite chapters in that, not only mine, everybody's favorite chapter. You must experience this. For experiencing that, you must procure this book and just read it.
Yes sir, I've got one copy of sirs, and in which I got it signed copy actually, so there's a little flex about it. Anyways, I'll read it I'll read about it even more, and I'll definitely put a video review actually. I've got 2 of the books, and now I'll be shifting to your second book, which is The Magic of So What. So what does so what means here? And the magic of so what, like I would like you to explain that title, because this is something interesting title which leads the reader to actually think about it. The magic of so what? So what?
This title is again comes with some experience behind. Same like when people doubt it. The magic of so what is just not a title. Uh, the biggest fear in this world is fear of public speaking, not death. Of course, death comes for later. So everybody comes under some or the other fear in life. Now, what the Indian Army taught me, what my boarding school taught me, when we do something drastically good or bad, and you know you are going to get caught, and you know you are going to get punished. In my childhood, I'm talking about my childhood, of course. Then the only answer which made us very strong, so what, देखेंगे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मार पड़ेगी, ठीक है. Now I realized the principle, technical principle behind that. The rule is the moment you are aware about your fears, that इससे ज़्यादा क्या हो सकता है, 75 to 80% of your fears are gone, because now you're not worrying about the very much thing you're getting scared of. For example, मैं ऊपर से जंप मारने वाला हूँ, डर क्या है, चोट लग जाएगी, इसलिए नहीं, चोट ही लगेगी, उससे ज़्यादा क्या होगा. What worst will go wrong than getting a fracture, getting a ligament tear, getting an injury? That's it. I will still jump, because now you are told your mind nothing worse than this can happen. Now, when I was facing the enemy shellings on our head in the bunkers, above our bunkers, so there the only thing is, let's see, so what? Maximum what? We all will be wiped out from here. So what? And from there, when I got into adventure activities like paragliding, I fell down many times. I broke my collarbones, I broke my shin bones, I broke my artificial leg many times. My adapter came out while landing, and so many things. I mean, I've mentioned in my previous book. The only thing which kept me going was, so what? Maximum what can happen? And that fear was totally evaporated or wiped out from my mind. I have no fears in my life. Of course, fears are important. You must get, that you must go through the feeling of fear, but only for short moment. Why? That helps you to adapt, that prevents your heart failure, because you suddenly have a heartbeat, maybe seeing a ghost, maybe seeing a leopard, maybe a tiger. Now when that heart beats, actually it is preventing your heart from heart failure. But after that, when you come back to action, you are stronger than a leopard. So take a pause and tell, so what? But the word of warning, don't use it for the wrong means. Don't use it as an escape. Don't use it as an excuse that, so what? Maximum I'll lose a year, so what? Maximum I'll not be able to study, so what? Maximum I'll go to jail. No way. Because that will not help you over there. But when you say so what for the challenges, it will help you to take on more bigger challenges in life. So that is all, this book is all about, the magic of so what. And in my last pages, I have written different sections for different ages. The so what for the old, the so what for the young, the so what for the students, and many more things. So I recommend you must read this.
As you mentioned that देखी जाएगी, देख लेंगे, क्या ही हो जाएगा, ज़्यादा मर जाएंगे और क्या ही होगा. But the thing is, like as sir has mentioned, so like if I have to sum that all up in a nutshell, he's saying, be afraid for a moment, but do it anyway. But sir, like now I would like you to wear the lens of a family who's looking up to you. Like considering you being very courageous, you are going through all the adventures of the life, but there's a family who's looking behind and they be like, this guy he's risking his life daily and we are here watching him. So how emotionally stable they were with this thought, with your idea, because I know it must be very hard for them to watch all that, like you gone through all that pain, struggles, and then doing it all over again, just breaking your bones again and again in order to rise up, obviously. But how they were feeling about it, and how supportive they were.
They thought this man is unstoppable. So instead of stopping him, he will do more. It is better to join him. So I made my wife do paragliding, and she said, it was rather more of more of a pity state on me. He said बस यही है, ये तो 11 माले की बिल्डिंग से देख रहे हैं ऐसे लगता है. So I felt so this ki, I mean, I thought she would be very rejoiced about it, very joyful about it, excited. And then later on, my children, they also joined me in a lot of adventures, from river rafting, then paragliding, then many things. So now they have become party to it. Now I have to tell them, you don't follow me, you go and do your own. So yes, initial days my wife was worried, but then in her heart she knew that I'm trying to make a place in my own life, my own comeback, not for others, because the pain is mine. Maybe she knew in her heart. You may not know, audience may not know, I still have challenges. I sleep in the bathroom. At times when the floor is slippery and I am having bath, I slip. So many times I've injured myself. I injured my head. Even now, if you just below this cloth, there is an injury here. So these are my everyday challenges. When I am riding a bike, suddenly you see the adapter is gone loose, and one brake you put, try to balance the bike, you're falling down suddenly because your one part is already gone. So I could have blamed the entire world, the entire system, that they have taken my leg, they have taken a part of my body. No way, you there is no excuses in this world. So she understood that maybe I'm re-establishing my own life, so that I don't cut a sorry figure to myself. I don't say to myself that my life is of not worth living. No, I make it more worthy. I'm going for skydiving in the coming times, and tomorrow is the first day where I'm meeting one of the celebrity, one of a legend officer, and maybe my journey starts for my skydiving from tomorrow onwards. So this also I'll reveal it in your maybe by the time you put it on air, I might be skydiving.
I think this is actually a right strategy. If you cannot, like you should just take the whole party with you, and when the whole party is with you, you are unstoppable indeed. So I'll try this trick with my parents because at times they will like, indeed. So that was actually a nice insight. I'll be taking this advice with myself. Now, sir, I'll be asking this thing that in today's generation is very anxious. Like they doubt themselves a lot because they are bombarded with a lot of information, and there's a lot of news of anxiety, fear of failure, depression. As it's always like it's all almost everywhere, and considering me being part of the student community, I communicate with them daily, and I get to know about like they are worried almost every time. They like whenever I meet, they're always worried about exam, either semester exam, competitive exams, or the defense exams or SSBs. Everything's there, and I would like you to suggest something from your life experiences and something so that they can prepare themselves mentally without actually going emotionally numb.
Good question. Well, I must tell you, for the youth, yes, we are over flooded with extra information, much not required. It brings a lot of anxiety. Then social media has gripped our mind. It has not gripped, it has hijacked our mind and our life. A big not recommended is when a 6-month toddler asks for a mobile or cries, don't hand over the mobile, because you're actually shedding off your headache, thinking that I'll give the mobile. No, you're injecting a negative trend into him. That is one. Second, for today's youth, don't compare yourself with others. Second is, don't judge people on their habit, behavior, on their clothing, on their background. Don't gossip. If you start gossiping about that, means your life is already hijacked by that person about whom you are talking. And as far as comparison is concerned, you cannot compare with anybody in this world. You cannot even compare between your twin brothers. You get two glasses, same glasses. Like if I show you these two glasses, you try to insert this glass into the other one, it will not go. So even twins are different. So you cannot forget about the common people whom you meet in the college, that why is she better than me? Why is he better than me? No way. When twins are not similar, how can the person coming from north, you coming from south, east, west, can be similar? But it's a biggest trap where you fall in that trap and you start getting into the spiral, and then you lose your identity. To come out of that, please have a purpose of your life. What is my purpose? Why am I living? Even the animal in the jungle, they live. Whether it is a tiger, leopard, elephant, they also live. They complete their 200 years, 100 years, 50 years. Turtle lives for so many years. But they are aimless. But if you have purpose, you'll make your life meaningful. So every 1 year, 2 year, find a purpose. I want to complete my graduation. That is the purpose. I want to complete my post graduation anyhow. That is my purpose. I want to find a job to say have a pocket money, at the same time try for the army, navy, air force, or a government job or group A services. Purpose. So keep adding purpose to your life, and then the bigger purpose, that I want to make my life more meaningful by helping others, more meaningful by challenging myself. Now when you find a purpose, you are able to have a direction. Don't run behind money. Money is a byproduct or something which will come later on. First you come on the track. That is something very, very, very important. And other than that, start knowing your own self in a better way. Have patience, have calmness, take a pause, write what good things have happened to you every day. If you can't write on a paper and pen, write in the mobile. And after 6 months, you see you might have gone through 180 good things in 6 months. That will make you so happy that yes, despite so many negative things, I'm able to scroll through the good things in my life also. So that is to make a better personality. These are the small tips I can share with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I hope you are taking the notes. You better. Now, like you have mentioned, you have covered almost every part of your segment about your life, about the SSB guidance, about your personal life indeed, about the books you have written. You've got different roles, like you have lived different roles actually, not just Indian Army veteran, a war wounded soldier, but rather many things you have done in this lifetime. So this is going to be the last question for this podcast. And the question is, how would you like to be remembered? Because now there are different roles, and if you have to choose only one, then what it has to be?
Firstly, nobody ever in my life asked this question. You're the first person to ask me this. So thank you. Second, very important thing, I don't want to be remembered, but I want my actions to be remembered. Not as D.D.Goel's action or Dharamdatt Goel's action. The actions to streamline your own life. For example, under stressful conditions, remain calm. For example, not to leave your focus. For example, the challenges may come, but don't give up. Never give up in life. For example, be available for those who need you. For example, not letting somebody down, not letting somebody's hope down. So these are my small, and I have lived this in action. Today, as I said, I told you, I have friends from my childhood. Now we are completing 37 years of friendship. I'm sure many would be wondering that when will we reach that. You can. Now, why is that 37 years? Why are my course mates so close to me? Because we know for each other we can stand. So these are the small learnings to be remembered. Not me as D.D.Goel or Dharamdatt Goel. So, and this whatever I'm talking is actually coming from my heart. Since nobody asked me, so it was not at all prepared. It just came. And whatever comes as a first reaction is the truth.
Indeed, sir. Thank you for providing such an emotional part of your life with us. And in a very Gen Z way, if I have to sum it all up about your life, then it has been a very cool, very exciting journey, because from my eyes, from my lens, if I have to see it, then I would rather say you have lived a life one aspires to be. Like, for example, we in our 20s, we are still navigating, we are still trying to figure it out, that what is up for me, where I can channelize my all of the energies. So we are still trying to figure it out, but your life somewhere actually guides us in a better direction to be not afraid, and even if you're afraid, do it anyway. And the life you have lived with a purpose, you're like, even though you thought that you have fell down, but still you have risen it up. So life is all about rising it all up, because a life is not complete if you have not risen it up. As Shah Rukh Khan says in his movie, that picture to abhi baki hai mere dost. So I hope you can resonate with that. So this is it with Dialogues with Deepika, and I thank you with my whole heart for joining us, sir. And you must have learned a lot from this podcast. So this is it, and keep having a not so armed conversation. Stay curious, stay open, and we'll see you in the next series. Bye bye.